Now, if I'm being honest, I don't know how I feel about the concept of basically taping cracks in my asphalt parking lot and having them be sealed. Welcome back to the Coyote Country Homestead. As I continue my driveway repairs, one of the things I keep running into is I've got cracks that need to be fixed, and they're just big enough that I don't trust the driveway filler sealer to be able to fill them in properly. But they're also not big enough that I need to use a product like the asphalt resurfacer or the asphalt repair or some of these other products that are just, that's too much product for what I need for these little cracks. Let me give you an example of what I'm looking at here. This is an example of the kind of cracking that I'm talking about. You can see it's a little bit bigger than a hairline crack, but at the same time, I mean, it's not separated so much that I really feel like I need to put any kind of material in there to fill it. This one has actually been repaired. I'll say repaired once before, but now it's got some other cracks running off. You can see this one running off to the side here and this one running off to the side. These are good examples of the kinds of cracks that I really need a solution to help me with. I'm evaluating a couple of different solutions for how I would fix that problem, but the one I'm going to be using today is actually, it's kind of a tape-like product. It's a self-adhesive driveway fabric repair, and I'll show you what that looks like here. The product I'm testing today is Driveway Medic Self-Adhesive Asphalt Repair Fabric. Now, if I'm being honest, I don't know how I feel about the concept of basically taping cracks in my asphalt parking lot and having them be sealed. I think this is a solution that is right for a certain level of crack, but once it gets past a certain point, it's probably not the right solution. And I don't know if this stuff is going to stay down. One of the things the product says is that if there's any oil or grease down, you've got to get that cleaned up first, and that will cause this to not stick and it will come back up. And it's a little thicker than maybe some of the other patching solutions. So when I go to put the sealer down on that, there's still probably going to be a little bit of a ridge, a little bit more of a ridge than other solutions. I don't know, we're going to find out. It costs $14 for a roll that is 4 inches wide by 9 feet long. So it's a little bit more expensive, but at the same time, you don't really need any tools. You just, you sweep it off, you clean it off, you get it ready to go. If you've got more than, you know, a hairline of a crack, you need to fill it probably in with some sand or something like that so that it has some kind of a backing to fill that crack. But otherwise, then you just put the self-adhesive tape down on top of it and kind of stomp it in place or put something heavy in place and you're done. So again, kind of sounds too good to be true. Also sounds like something you only use for to repair certain kinds of cracks, kind of like the ones I've shown you, I think. So we're going to try that and we're going to see how that works. The great thing about driveway repairs, I guess really any project when you get down to it, is there's always yak shaving that you have to do before you can actually get started. Today's yak shaving, you saw that there are some weeds in the cracks. I put weed killer down a couple of days ago, so those are mostly killed off, but now I need to scrape those out of there. Then I'm gonna blow the whole thing, the area off with the leaf blower. Then I need to use the wire bristle broom to clean it and make sure it's all the little debris is off of there. And then I'll blow it one more time and then I'll be ready to put the tape down. I'm gonna try and use this 15-in-1 painter's tool. Give you a close-up of that. I like that because it's got this hook right here, and I can use that to get into these little cracks and get this plant material pulled out of here. I got these cracks cleaned up, and I want to give you a close-up of what we're looking at. Pretty sure that I can fill this or use the tape on this crack here. That's a pretty long, pretty straight crack. I think on this one, I'll be able to use it. Come out just a little bit. On this one here, I plan to use it, and on this one. But when you get over to here, this is starting to get wider, and I feel like there's a better solution for that we're gonna use later. And then also the crack that's been repaired previously, it really it's too wide and has too many fissures, and it's not gonna work very well. I'm gonna need another product for that. I may even need to trial patch that one. But I feel like I can get several of these. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get the tape and we'll get started. So I did lie a little bit when I said you wouldn't need any tools. You will need scissors or something to cut this product with. You might need a tape measure, I suppose. And when it comes to adjusting angles on some of this stuff, because the cracks don't always run straight, I can see how certain personalities might want to have something to measure angles with. I'm probably not going to be that precise. So I want to do these two cracks first because they're relatively straight. Now, if you look at this one here, I should be able to get it down pretty much like that and cover the whole crack. The product says that you really want to try and have 2 inches of this material on each side of the crack to stick to the asphalt. So that's a pretty good length. Actually, this part here is a little too rough to fill in with the fabric here. So I'm probably going to stop right here. And I want to come up to the edge of this, but not into this crack here. So I think I might actually come this way. So if I start there, yeah, we'll go to about here. And then it's got a backer on it. This is the top that's going to be up when we're done. And we'll peel off this backer to reveal the adhesive side. There's some Scotch tape at the beginning of the roll that sticks a lot more than this product does here. This is the backer. So we're going to reveal that. If we had a longer run, I would probably pull it back a little bit at a time. But I think for this, it's actually going to be better if I just put it down like this. So I'm going to go right to the edge of the crack here. I'm going to center on this one right here. And we're going to press this in place. Has to be at least 50 degrees outside to use this. I don't know that it's specified an upper temperature. Some of the other products, they don't want you to put it down if it's too warm. I think this is one of those things that the hotter it is, it probably is going to be more helpful. And then where it's a little bit rough on the end here, the surface is pitted. I'm just pushing that down into there to make sure I get a good seal. I might even, like here, I got just a little bit close to that really deep part, so I'm going to cut the fabric here so that that can kind of go down inside of that. That's better. And if that won't adhere, because I've got a little bit of a loose rock right there, I'm just going to cut that off. I would rather go ahead and cut it now than have it pull up later. So a little bit of trimming to fit. And it says you can put something heavy down on it, you can step on it. I'm just trying to really squish that down into the asphalt. That should be it for that. And there's no setup time, there's no cure time. This is My mom-in-law is going to be home from work before long, and she's going to drive right over this and not even know this is here, and that should be okay. We're going to find out about that as well, and then I'll be able to seal right over that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm sitting on the other crack. Let me back this up a little bit. Right here is that other one that I'm going to do. And the same kind of thing, I'm going to actually stop that right about here because this surface just gets too pitted right here. So I think I'll be good right up to about between here and here. Before I press this down, since this is coming in a little bit of an angle here, I'm going to trim this off before it gets to that deep part of the crack. Making sure those corners are down. That'll be the first place to come up, is the corners. And if they do, I'll just have to cut them off, I suppose. But overall, that feels pretty. I'm just doing an edge test. See if it wants to come up. This is right at the edge of that pitted surface right here. So as this heats up, today is not a very hot day. As we get some real sunny weather, maybe 90 degrees or more, and this stuff really heats up, I'll probably come out and make sure these edges fully seat when this product's nice and hot. Hello, little bee friend. Little sweat bee here. This right here, I can see there's a pit right here, whereas I push that in with my thumb. That's another area I'm probably going to want to watch and let this get really hot. And with any luck, this will kind of melt into the asphalt, which is what I'm hoping. Seems pretty sticky, pretty tacky. Seems to be adhering pretty well. So this is as far as 9 feet will get you. So that's one roll of the product. I have these 2 repairs here. I have one that I did over here and this one here. And then you see I've got another roll ready to go. And we're gonna use that to finish out this crack repair along here. As I was saying, my mom-in-law was getting ready to come home and she was going to drive right over this, and she did. And it doesn't seem to any worse for the wear at all. So that's what the repair looks like as of now. This is about 1.5 rolls of product to do these 2 cracks and then that longer crack there. And then again, I've got a different product I'm going to use for this one that was previously repaired. So it went down easy. I like the product. I'm not sold on this product. This product is going to have to prove itself to me. This falls a little bit into the camp of too easy and too good to be true. Having said that, I'm also trying not to push the product beyond its design, right? Which is to fix hairline and smaller cracks, and not to fix cracks that have big separations and need to be filled. I have some different products that I want to use for that. This is really just to get something down to seal the cracks up before I put the filler sealer on. These are cracks that I think that the filler sealer would have fallen down into it and created a valley, and I would have needed multiple coats of that, and this way I can use 1 coat to get those sealed, and that should work okay. So we'll see how that looks when I get the other crack repair stuff in. I'll show you that as well, and then we'll seal this all up and we'll see what that looks like. But otherwise, that's gonna be it for this one. Do me a favor, click like, click subscribe. Subscribe won't cost you any money and we won't send you anything, but it lets you know when I've got future videos coming out. I have at least 2 other products that I'm going to be testing for crack repair. I have 2 more products that I'm going to be using, a 2-year and a 5-year sealant. I want to compare the 2, the 5, and the 10-year side by side and see what those look like. And I have some other products that we're going to be using and testing on this as well. So stay tuned for more. Otherwise, that's it for this time. My name is Chris. Thank you for joining us out here at the Coyote Country Homestead. We'll talk to you next time.